Hi, everybody. This is Cricket Barrientos with Sounds of Autism, and I am here today again with Mr. Carter Kinder, our sports expert for Sounds of Autism. Hi, Carter. How are you?
Good.
Good. I wanted to, share how smart you are and how much knowledge you have about sports with the world because I just can't believe it. I mean, every time I talk to you, you tell me something, and I learn things all the time from you. And so we wanted to say thank you for being a part of our team, Sounds of Autism team, and doing this for us. I know that you are a huge baseball fan. Who is your favorite team?
Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh yes, I know. I know you are. And what's really exciting to me is that I am a Cubs fan, and I know that I think they're in different divisions, right? Does the
Yeah.
Okay, so the Cubs don't play against the Dodgers. It's the White Sox that play against the Dodgers, right?
No, the White Sox are in the American League. Dodgers are in the National League.
Oh, okay. So who's the Cubs? Like, are they in the National League or the
Yeah,
American
Cubs are National League. The Cubs play the Brewers. They
League?
play their division.
Okay. All right. So there's never going to be a chance that when we are in the playoffs or we are in the World Series that the Cubs and the Dodgers will ever play each other.
Yeah, never.
Okay, that's good. Then we'll get along great, Carter. We're going to have a great season here with our baseball talks because we're not competing, you know?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about baseball. What's going on right now in the baseball world?
The baseball season's about to come to end because it's August. Be couple more games in September. Then wrap it up in October for postseason.
And who do you think is going to be in the playoffs? Do you know?
I think Dodgers and I think the White Sox from the American League can make the playoffs.
Wow, that's awesome. The White Sox, I remember when they played in the World Series, I think, and they won. It was, many years that didn't happen, so it was a big deal. And then, oh my gosh, you saw the Cubs when they had their World Series. That was the craziest eventful game I've ever seen in my life. And thank God the rain came so that they could regroup and come
Yeah.
back, and they were a great team, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, Carter. Well, let's look and we'll see. We'll come back to that next week and we'll see what's happening with them. And I pray for your Dodgers. I hope that they do well, and I hope the White Sox do well because I was a girl from Chicago at one time, and we definitely love our sports. So, and then we have football. I'm super excited about football. Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, we have some good people. This year it's really going to be a fun season. I think because COVID's over, or not over, but we're able to maybe go to a game finally. That would be super exciting. But tell me a little bit about the football teams that are out there. A lot of people are doing their fantasy football drafts this time of year, and they need some information about who is the best players to pick from the different teams. So can you give them some insight into maybe who they want?
Yes. Seattle Seahawks wide receiver is good. DK Metcalf. The Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott's good. And Patrick Mahomes is a good quarterback.
Yes, and who does he play for?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about the Arizona Cardinals? We're in Arizona. People think it's crazy that we have any kind of sports in the desert, but we have fun with sports. I mean, we even have fun with our hockey team. So, we do sports out here. It's just a little different, right? We have those
Yeah.
avid, you know, Dodger fans and Cub fans and stuff like that, and we're all working to get everybody to be Arizona Cardinals fans. So how can we do that? And like Larry Fitzgerald, is he coming back? I want to know those things.
I'm thinking I think he's coming back from. He might come back this year or might next year.
Okay. All right. And he's still, I mean, I met him, Carter. He came to my restaurant one day with his wife and his child, and we had this table in the front of our restaurant set up with all of these jerseys, and his jersey was up there, and he was checking it out to make sure that it was, you know, to his standard. But I said hi to him, and he said hi back. He's the nicest guy. It's cool, huh?
Yeah,
So tell me a little bit about the Arizona Cardinals. How do you think they're going to do this season?
I think they're going to do good.
Do you think that we have a good quarterback?
Yes,
He's very good, right?
yeah, because he runs fast and he can also pass the ball good too.
You know, Carter, I have been watching sports a really long time, and I'm not a sports fanatic. Like, I'm not great at it, but I definitely understand the game. And I love the quarterbacks that can not just play a quarterback position, but if they needed to jump in and play a position like running back or wide receiver or, whatever, that they would be able to do that. And they're a very well rounded player. I like those guys. I think they're very talented. And I think, I forget the guy's name, but he was very good. And I was like, oh, that's the guy. I like him. And I can't remember his name, but he was not on the Cardinals. He was on a different team, and I was talking to my husband because my husband loves football. He was a football coach. He loves baseball too. He was a baseball coach and a baseball player and a football player. And he said that nowadays a lot of these quarterbacks are built like they're, a different position, and they're able to do all these things. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course you did. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Phoenix Suns. They haven't been around. They had a great season last year. Unfortunately, they didn't win in the playoffs, but they did do a very good job, and they played very well as a team. But has there been any trades or any talk of trades or things that are going on coming into the season?
yes. Someone's got another center. You got JaVale McGee.
What do you think about him? Is he going to be good?
Yeah, he's gonna be good because he's got a ring with the Lakers
Oh,
in the
oh, was he
bubble.
under Phil Jackson?
I
Was
said
he?
JaVale Mc, I said JaVale McGee. He's a center for the Suns now. He came from the Nuggets. He played for the Lakers when when we were in pandemic. We were when NBA went in the bubble.
Oh, okay. And Carter, I'm from Chicago. I told you that. Um, we grew up watching Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, oh my gosh, Scott Williams, all of those guys. They were such a good team. And you saw how many rings Michael Jordan won. I mean, he had a ton of rings, right?
Yeah.
The best part about that game during that time was just watching how well they played as a team. You would never know if they had like differences of opinion off the court, but on the court, they pulled it together and they worked together. And they did really well. And eventually, instead of Michael always having to make the last shot, he started trusting other people on the court, and he would throw the ball and they would hit their three pointers. And I was just like, oh my gosh, finally, right? Like Steve Kerr, Paxson. Do you remember all those guys, or is that before your time?
Definitely for my time.
Yes. Did you see the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance?
No.
Oh my gosh, you should watch that with your dad. I think you would love it. It really talks about the sport, and you can see a really good sports team and some of the old players that were on there before you probably were even born.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck Phoenix Suns this year, right? And especially with that new center, I think that'll be a good thing
Yeah.
for them. Let's talk a little bit about NASCAR. I think I told you that this week a friend of mine who drives not in the NASCAR, but he has a race car, put the Sounds of Autism logo on his hood of his car. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about NASCAR. What's happening out there? What's good? What maybe is not good? Tell me a little bit about that.
Uh, NASCAR's coming too close to coming to the playoffs. 2 more weeks of wait until the playoffs, and then the championship race is in Phoenix National Speedway.
Oh, okay. All right. Have you been to NASCAR?
No,
Would you like?
I've been to race since I was little to Phoenix International Speedway. Watch the race on the mountain.
Oh my gosh, do you love it?
Yeah, I did when I was little.
You know, I sat in the pit one time. There was a race car driver, and the place that I worked for, he actually drove the car and had our logo on it, our restaurant logo. So I got to sit in the pit and watch him change his tires and just do a bunch of cool things. It was a lot of fun, and but it's very loud. True?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Carter. There's one last sport that I'd like to talk about with you. And I know you're not a big fan yet, but I definitely am going to turn that around. We have the Arizona Coyotes. And do you know that I've had season tickets with the Arizona Coyotes for probably 3 to 4 years now? And we go and we sit right in the bowl. We sit right there. We watch them. We're right on the the line, the red line, so we can see everything. We get to see the guys coming off the bench, getting on the bench. We sit right behind the penalty box, so when they go in the penalty box, we can see them. It's a really cool sport. And this year, that team is really changing the dynamic of people that are on that team. So we have a lot of new people, a lot of young people. They're fast on the ice now. So I'm kind of sad because I bought my favorite person's jerseys. I should say person's jerseys. And a lot of them aren't there anymore. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. If do I keep my jerseys? Do I take the name off? What do I do, Carter? I want to know.
Uh, keep them for memories, and you can also remember the good old times that player had on the team.
That's true. Do you know in 2020, before COVID, my husband surprised me with a trip for my birthday. And we got to fly to Fort Lauderdale. We went to see the Coyotes play in Fort Lauderdale. Then we drove through the Everglades to Tampa and we watched them play at the Tampa Stadium. And then we flew to South Carolina and watched them play there. And we traveled for 3 or 4 days. I mean, we just boom, 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 right? And when we were in Fort Lauderdale, my husband and I were walking down the street and I look up and I see my favorite captain, Oliver Ekman Larson, OEL. And he was sitting there with Jalmerson, we call him the Hammer, and that's Kevin's favorite player. And I'm like, Kevin, there they are. They're sitting on the patio eating lunch. Should I go say hi? He's like telling me no, just keep walking. But I didn't listen, and I just walked up, and I'm like, I'm sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to say, go Yotes! And they started laughing, and they were sitting with the goalies, and they were, all, Ranta and Kemper. They were all sitting there talking. I'm sure about how annoying the fans are, especially me. But we got to see all the players up front. So I said to my husband, let's go in the hotel. I want to go see if we can see more. So we did. They were at the Ritz Carlton. So we go in the Ritz Carlton, and there's all the players walking around. I saw them all, but they didn't see us. They saw us wearing our shirts. They kind of avoided us. So then I go to the coffee shop, and the coach walks over, and he wants to order coffee, and he's standing right behind me. Now, I didn't know his name. So I said, well, hello, I'm Cricket Barrientos. Who are you? And he said, John McClain. And my husband's like shaking his head at me because he's like, you never ask a coach what his name is. You just say, hey, coach, how are ya? And I said, well, I wanted to know his name. And my husband's like, oh my God. He has the same name as the guy in Die Hard, the movie Die Hard. I'm like, I didn't know that. So anyway, we told him that we were following them. So when we saw him in South Carolina, he walked by and he waved to us, and I waved back to him because we were right up on the glass next to the bench. So we got to see the players. That's an amazing present my husband bought me, don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, Carter, I'm going to find a day where we can go to the Coyotes game together, and maybe we could do a little live podcast out there, and you could meet some of the players, or maybe we could just go there and you could sit next to me and we can get excited about what they're doing this year because I think they're going to be a really good team. What do you think?
Yes, except for you got to worry about except for it's gonna be hard because we're still in a pandemic.
I know. Well, you know what, Carter? We will mask up. We will glove up. We will boot up. We'll put our jackets on so we're not freezing cold. We won't touch anybody. And we'll sit 6 feet apart from one another. What do you think? Now will you go with me?
They're saying that the Coyotes season might be not going for the long because the COVID team's still rising. I think Coyotes season might be on hold again.
Oh, no, that's not good. Well, Carter, you're going to have to listen in on all your sports this week and find out about my Coyotes and if they're going to be on the ice this year because I really want them to be. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this pandemic goes away. Okay, Mr. Carter, our sports
Okay.
expert for Sounds of Autism. We'll see you next week.
Okay.